Hi, I'm Ross Benjamin reporting for the Offshore Gaming Association. That's OSGA.com, your number one source for information on the offshore sportsbook industry. That's OSGA.com. I'm going to be looking at both college football playoff games that take place on Saturday, the 29th of December. I'm currently recording on the 27th of December, which is Thursday, 2 days prior to these semifinal matchups. So please keep in mind that when you view the video, these lines would be subject to change depending on when you do take a look at these videos. Let's start with the Oklahoma Alabama game. We're going to concentrate on the total on both of these contests. A huge total of 77 on this Oklahoma Alabama game to be played at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. There's good reason for that high number. You look at the Oklahoma Sooners, they've gone over the total in 10 of their 13 games this year. Those 13 games have produced a combined 81.9 points scored per contest. That's just unfathomable. Now, you look at the reasons why those high scoring games, not only has Oklahoma shown a prolific and dynamic offense, but their defense has been extremely vulnerable. Now, starting with the offense, Oklahoma has scored 45 points or more 10 times this year. That's 10 of 13 games. Oklahoma has scored 45 points or greater. Wow, that's some pretty good offense. On the other side of the coin, unfortunately, the Sooners, despite their 12 and 1 record this year, I should say, have allowed 40 points or more on 5 separate occasions. So, needless to say, this is not a shutdown defense. They've won a lot of high scoring games, and that's going to be a difficult situation against an Alabama team that really the only game they were really exposed was in their previous contest in the SEC championship against Georgia, a game they won 35-28, in which the Bulldogs not only put up 28 points but over 450 yards of offense. Despite, or I should say, casting that aside, the rest of the year Alabama was dominant defensively on a majority of occasions, and I see them being scored upon here. They'll be hard pressed to hold this Oklahoma offense in check for the entirety of a game. But I do think Alabama's defense will make enough stops here to come out on top in this game, although I don't know if they'll cover the 14. But I do think we're going to see a very high scoring contest. Let's not forget as well, Alabama's defense gets a lot of the recognition, but their offense, 45 points or more in 9 of 13 games this year. And keep in mind, Alabama won a lot of lopsided contests this year. So they pulled their top-notch offensive players out of the lineup sometimes by the middle of the third quarter. So this isn't really as indicative as Alabama could possibly be in terms of explosive on offense, and I think they'll have a field day here against this Oklahoma defense. I like this game, despite the huge number, to go over the total of 77. Notre Dame and Clemson, I see the polar opposite. I'm seeing a low-scoring game occurring here. This game will take place, by the way, in Arlington, Texas, in the home of the Dallas Cowboys. And the Clemson Tigers, we'll talk about strong defense. They've allowed 10 points or less in 8 of 13 games this year. Clemson has also gone 8-0 under the total during the last 2 seasons versus teams that are outscoring their opponents by 10 points or more for the season. Notre Dame 12-0 this year, and they've outscored the opposition by 16.5 points per game. And by the way, those 8 games that I'm alluding to over the last 2 seasons that all went under the total for Clemson, combined 40.9 points scored per contest. Notre Dame, not too shabby defensively as well. You can make a very strong case that Notre Dame has faced a stronger schedule than Clemson, and in doing so, the Fighting Irish have allowed 27 points or fewer in all 12 of their wins this year. undefeated, so all 12 of their games in essence. I like this one to stay below the number. I'm going with under 57 in the Notre Dame and Clemson game. Repeating again, the two college football playoff games on Saturday. I like over 77 in the Oklahoma-Alabama game. I like under 57 in the Notre Dame and Clemson game. Be sure to visit my website. That's rbwins.com. Currently, folks, 30-18 with my last 48 picks in all sports. That's 63%. 12-3 the last 3 Sundays in the NFL. Once again, that's rbwins.com, where you pay a little to make a lot. Until the next time, good luck with all your picks.